All right, guys, welcome back from the MLG offices here in New York City. I'm Axel Toss. I'm joined by AxLab. We're watching Stars Wars Stars War Season 3.
You know, it's hard to say Stars War.
It is.
Because, like, I've grown
everyone's
up on,
mind, yeah, like
Star Wars.
Star
right?
Trek. Oh. Wait, what?
Star Trek, yes.
Wait, what were you talking about?
Star Wars.
What's that?
I don't know. It's like Star Trek, but with wars instead of Trek.
See, I was confused by the name because I thought it's so similar to Star Trek.
Yeah.
Star Wars, yeah. So I thought that's what you were
Here we are. Game 3 of this epic best-of-3. The winner goes on to semifinals, grabbing many extra cheeseburgers. Of course, this tournament, even if they lose in the quarterfinals, they still get $500, which is pretty darn good for top 8. This is one of the higher payout tournaments there is. I don't think there's anything that pays out more than this besides, like, you know, the IEM, the DreamHack, the MLG, or the WCS, right? I might have forgotten one there. It's an extremely high-profile tournament, something that we just saw Pardoning play. Coming up next is going to be like we're going to see Maru, we're going to see Liquid Hero.
Yep.
A lot of great players in this tournament. Here we are, though. It's tied up 1-1. Game 3 to the sliding map on Belshire Vestige in the upper left-hand location. The Red Zerg from Taiwan. We have Sen. And his opponent in the bottom right-hand location, the Blue Protoss from China. We have Macsed.
PVZ here on Belshire Vestige. Now, a pretty key aspect about this map, there's a lot of choke points. So Protosses, if they can take advantage of that and they can have good force fields, they're going to be happy. Also, your fourth base extends towards your opponent. So that creates a lot of interesting diversities as far as which fourth do you take? Do you take the one that's closer to your main, or do you take the one that's across the map? Or do you take both of them? Where do you take your fifth base? Because once you're taking a fifth base, you're kind of you're kind of all up in your opponent's grill at that point. And then six bases is not going to happen generally. Every resource is going to be pretty important on this map.
And look at this, Sen going to third hatchery before pool, but not in his base. In fact, in his opponent's base, forcing Macsed to get a Zealot before the Nexus. And this is actually really interfering with Macsed's plans here. This is a really cool move from Sen. Macsed may end up going for a multiple gateway before expansion build, or it looks like he'll just build a second Zealot as well to increase his damage output. Of course, a Zealot does significantly more damage than a Stalker. So if you just want to kill a thing that's not moving, you don't need the range, you don't need the speed of the Stalker, you just want pure damage output. Your best bet is a Zealot, and of course get that Militia Core as well that builds very fast, adds extra damage output. Now of course Sen's spawning pool is a little bit later because of this, but he's going to have speed fairly quickly, and the Nexus from Macsed would ideally be already about 20 to 30% done, and instead it's not even started yet. Now, I do think Sen will probably cancel this hatchery. With two Zealots here pounding it, I don't see him. Oh, maybe he'll finish it until the creep get out, actually.
Let's see. The gateway going down.
Yeah, he's going to let it finish. And the creep goes out. That's a good amount of creep. That's going to delay the Nexus by again more. And as soon as it finished, you can see Macsed wanted to build a Nexus if he canceled it, so he was saving minerals.
But then he realized he wasn't going to be able to put down the Nexus, so he made two gateways.
And you know, that could have been something. Look how much damage those Broodlings did. Holy moly, that pylon took a beating. But it was just a reaction to saying, okay, he's either going to let the hatchery finish, let there be creep there, so I might as well build two additional gateways first. And now he's actually going to attack with two Zealots. And this is just trying to force Sen to get a few extra units, or at least force him to micro his Queen and drones against the Zealots. Now, I mean, a Queen and drones can beat two Zealots with top micro, but it can be tricky. And this is actually kind of scary for Sen, because Macsed is taking this in stride, saying if you're going to not cancel out a hatchery, I'm going to commit to a one-base build. We can see, I think there's 4 gateways, a 4th gateway coming up now. Warp Gate is finishing, and there's a Stargate behind it. So Sen has got to really crank out units. But Sen, okay, now there's a Nexus. Okay, Sen has spotted the exact time of the Nexus, but he knows there could be heavy pressure. Now, is there a pylon? There was a probe.
There's a probe.
I don't think it built any pylons yet.
And Sen's good at finding those probes too.
Sen is like a master of this now, and he has speed about to finish as well.
Look at all these lings.
Yeah, and
I wonder what these are going to do here. Are they
well,
going to be able to do anything?
they were there for defense. He anticipated a gateway attack. They're not going to do anything aggressively. Maybe force a force field or something.
Zealot saying, let's stay next to
Oh,
each
the
other.
force field's on the wrong side of the sentry. It actually popped the sentry out, and
Zealot's going to fall too.
Yeah, I was scoffing at the Zergins. I'm like, because this force field have no problems. And it's not like he's going to die here, but he lost 2 Zealots and a sentry, which is not a joke. That's killing that early sentry makes a big difference because that sentry ideally would hallucinate the scout later, or actually the Phoenixes you won't have to, but ideally has multiple force fields later on in the game. So a nice win from Sender with that exchange, and he's got third base coming up here as well. He's significantly ahead in supply. The natural from Macsed is just now finishing. That's how much a Protoss is slowed down.
Yeah.
If you get the hatchery, the creep spreads, they have to kill the hatchery, then you have to even wait an additional minute for that creep to go away. A very effective tactic against the Protoss when they gateway expand.
Phoenix is getting out on the field here from Macsed, trying to get rid of some of those overlords that we know Sen is so good with. This could have been a reaction to earlier games. Macsed identifying how many overlords are actually out here.
There was a lot on the map, yeah.
Yeah, and so that's kind of a reason why you make these Phoenixes, to get rid of those.
But Sen's been very fast in pulling his overlords all the way back. At some point, he will get a Spore Crawler here to protect him. Probably fairly soon. In fact, he's got one in the third, one in natural, one in the third, and there's probably one in the main started in just a bit. Maybe in time to stop a fourth Phoenix. This Durgan's already checking on that area as well. Checking into front. So far, I think Sen is looking in a great position. And yes, there's the one in the main. Look how he times the spores. He didn't build them all at the same time because he knew the Phoenixes were coming up on the right side, so the main, he could delay that. And even delaying the spore 20 seconds, that's like 10 more minerals that your drone mined, or 15 more minerals that your drone mines before it turns into a spore. And it's not a big difference, but that's what separates a player like Sen from the average player, is he's going to come back in his games, and he's going to fix the little things. And you do enough of those, it adds up to a big difference.
Phoenix is scouring the skies for overloads, looking for stray drones as well. Doing a good amount of damage. Behind us, we got a Robo, and we got a Void Ray on the way here from Macsed. So no third just yet, but it's looking like he wants to go for that Colossi Void Ray type composition.
Yeah, and that means he will be looking to take a third as soon as he thinks it's safe. He wants to chase away to Speedling. Colossi Void Ray isn't something you can really do off two bases. I mean, you can start your way there, but you're going to have nothing, but you're going to have no sentries. You're not going to be able to warp in stalkers, and those are two units you kind of want. You can be mostly Zealots, but you still need some support in case you just get a bunch of Muters or Corruptors. So he is going to get that third base. There he is. Nexus just started right now. And Sen looks to be going, like he might be going Roach Hydra. A lot of resources being saved up by Sen. So he may, that may be to get a giant swell of Hydralisk right when the Hydralisk Sen finishes. And he does have one upgrade for them as well. So it could be a little bit of a scary push because the robotic speed is just finishing. And by the time the Hydras are building across the map, he could have a single Colossus, but he's not going to have Thermal Lance. And there could be a good 11 Hydras instantly being built.
Where's the Nidus? You know I'm going to ask that, Nick.
Yes, I mean,
Donde está la Nidus?
I'm not sure if he's actually. I don't think he's going to make this an all-in. Well, he only has 60 drones.
I don't think Nidus is all in.
It's not all in, but it's if you're.
These guys are good enough to make it worth it.
Yeah, I think they are.
But the main issue is going to be
versus Phoenix. It's a little bit tricky to do Nidus because it's hard to. I guess you can use Speedling.
Yeah, that's what you do. Just send a Speedling into each. There's
Yeah.
so many nooks and crannies on this map. So that
one day you will get your Nidus.
That concludes Axel Toss's Nidus rant of the day.
Every day there's got to be at least two of those.
It's got to be there somewhere. Whenever I see Hydras, I'm going to say it.
Yep. They do work out very well with Nidus. Now, he's actually just making more and more Speedlings than Hydras. He definitely wants to go for an attack. And the question is he going to continually rally in and just make this attack a very committed attack? Or is he going to, behind this, add a fourth base, add in maybe 15, 20 more drones and more gases? Hydra speed on the way as well. That's very important, especially if you're not building a Nidus. Now, he is trying to spread creep, and look how he's spreading it very linearly, just trying to reinforce Hydras across the map as fast as possible. Really making two, creep tendrils. If you want creep defensively, you spread it more horizontally so the Protoss can't find a spot near a base where there's no creep. If you want to be aggressive, you just want to get as far across the map as possible in one dimension so units can reinforce along that route. Now, he's going on in two different prongs. There is a Colossus out, but no range. But there's a lot of force fields available. There's, of course, 2 photon overcharges or numerous time warps.
It's a lot of Hydras.
But there's a good flank here from Sen.
Sen coming in from 2 locations. Hydras from the right, Hydras from the left. Colossus is going to be the thing he wants to target. Takes down a Void Ray. The Colossus going to be microed back.
The force fields did not stop the flank. It's still going forward.
Speedling's coming in as well. A second Colossi coming out. Macsed needs to make this work, but Sen is looking pretty darn good here.
Yeah, Sen had just a great angle there. The force field just a tiny bit off to not segment the force. And Sen takes a demanding win in that battle. Only a single Colossus survives. It is an Instructor with a lot of kills, but now the third base is very open. There's the Photon Overcharge. That's going to do some damage, but this many Hydra discs, they may just take out the Nexus, or no, they're going to actually, Hydra speed is done. That means they're faster than all these gateway units. But
Keeping them away.
Yeah, they don't want to run into the natural quite yet. Thermal Lance is almost done. That's going to be a big upgrade. But can he take out, oh, the Colossus!
Oh,
Speedies are coming in.
It might get killed by the, yes, the Lings are going to
Oh,
get, yes,
yes.
Zerglings just killed the Colossus there. You saw that correctly.
Oh, and a great surround as well.
And Sen is just like, this is just the calm before the storm for Sen, because he has 1,200 gas in the bank. He has a Spire on the way. He's wanting to do a muted transition.
And this is so smart. So many Zergs have continually reinforced Hydras, but you're at a point now where the Protoss is going to have Thermal Lance. And even 1 or 2 Colossi kiting backwards, yep, there's a GG. He knows that third base.
And Sen's a little bit upset because he doesn't get to build his 20 meters at once.
No.
But anyway, go on with your point there.
Yeah, I'd say that that transition is so important because even if you're ahead, if you continue to make Hydras against a player who has Thermal Lance Colossi, even if you add in Corruptors, you're going to be in trouble because by the time Corruptors kill the Colossi, you have no Hydras left. And you're like, yeah, I've got Corruptors, and they've got a bunch of Stalkers, and it's kind of sad.
Yeah.
But saving up the resources, putting on the pressure, trying to basically the goal there is to trade units, force Macsed to spend all his gas on building more sentries, building more stalkers, building more colossi, and then he won't be prepared. He won't be going into blink, and he won't be going into more Phoenix production, and ideally even kill the Phoenix, which did happen. I mean, in fact, he actually won the game with that push. But in a lot of situations, you might not win the game. They might hold their third. But if they're pretty much forced to rebuild sentries.
Yep.
Because they're like, what if he reinforces with 30 roaches? Even if I have a couple colossi, the roaches will just run in and kill him. And if they're forced to rebuild sentries, they're not going to be able to transition back into air, and your mutas will catch them totally off guard.
Very nice timing there by Sen, and also identifying his opponent, going for the Colossi, having the muta switch ready. Like, he was just like the Spire was literally about to finish there. We were about to see a lot of mutas, and that would have been a lot of fun to see.
And he had a fourth base as well. He had 8 gases.
Yeah, Sen playing a great game there, taking the match over Macsed. Remember, he fell in game 1 and then ended up winning 2 in a row. So super cool games, super cool match there between Sen and Macsed. Sen takes the victory and will advance on to the semifinals. We got 2 quarterfinals left for the day. So guys, stay tuned. Next match coming up.